Here we have a Leica Rugby 400DG device that came in for repair. The customer mailed over the motherboard only and not the whole device. It's an expensive laser level device. Maybe we can take a look at a picture. The device looks similar to this. It may not be the same one. And you see an LCD on that device. So the LCD connector on the motherboard is broken off, and you're not going to be able to see anything on the screen because of the broken LCD. I do not know why the customer removed that board of this device, but the LCD connector is broken off. Now the customer included the ripped LCD connector right here, and I do not know if we can still use that connector. We definitely do not have a similar connector that we can use. First thing I'm going to do is locate where that connector came out from. Should be somewhere on the edge because I see a lot of connectors on the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I cannot tell where that connector came off from. I do see some Captain tape on the back here, but nothing under the tape. The tape was only securing the LCD connector. Oh, right there, right there, right here. Let's take a look under the microscope and see what's going on. And this huge capacitor is going to bother us because we cannot lay that board on the bench. I'm going to have to lay it off the bench like this so I can work on the board. Otherwise, we're going to be working on the board in a tilted position like this. And that's going to be hard. So I'm going to work on it like this. I'm going to put the cap outside the bench and the board on the bench. That's the only way to work on it. And it's going to be wobbling all over the place. I'm going to have to secure it somehow. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Anyway, let me show you what's going on the board. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rib pads. And the sides also. So we're not going to be able to hold that connector secure from the sides because those pads are ripped off. We're going to have to secure that connector with glue. And the customer has to be careful when he plugs in the cable. Once the cable is plugged in and that device is closed, then nothing is going to bother that connector. The connector is not going to fail anymore. Let's take a look at the connector and see if it's usable. And look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the pins are bent. And maybe we can straighten that pin. Not maybe, but we have to. We have no other option. And look at this. The last two pins, I think they are completely broken off, right? Yeah. The last two pins are completely broken off. We do not have a similar connector that we can use. What we can do is probably run a wire from here onto the pad on the board and from here onto the pad on the board. That's the only option. That connector is bent badly. But if there's a will, there's a way. We can make it work. And I think it's easier to solder the wires right now. Attach a wire from here, maybe till right here, and another wire here. So that when we put the connector on the board, we can just go over the pins and solder them one by one. What if we look inside the connector? It looks very good. We see all the pins and everything looks good. Now we need to get rid of the pads that are stuck to the pins. And we do that by just touching the soldering iron onto those pads. And they will come right off. Okay, so that one wanna play games. That's what the problem is. This one, this pad wanna play games. I put that connector inside the board holder. Just a slight pressure. Slight pressure only, not too much. Very nice. And maybe we can cut it right over here like this. And let's do the other one. Maybe we can tin that wire first. Alright, so the connector is done. One thing we forgot are the side rib pads. We need to remove them. We have a lot of back orders for the Aten hot air station. We should have the shipment probably later this week, maybe on Friday, which is tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then probably on Monday. We enabled the option to back order, so as soon as we get the item, we can ship it to you. And we have a lot of back orders for those stations. Same goes for the NF.mini pen, which we have out of stock, but we should have the shipment by probably early next week. If you place the back order, then we will ship it out to you as soon as we have it in stock. And we also have the grinding pens. They should be in stock very soon also, probably this week, by tomorrow or early next week. We got the T3B soldering stations yesterday, so we do have them in stock right now. Board holders, the universal, the big one, it's currently out of stock, but we should have it later this week. And I'm talking about this one here. This one here. The last batch we got did not have the blue tabs that you see here, and some people were complaining, how come you have the one that has the blue tabs and ours does not? The ones that doesn't have the blue tabs is actually the Pro version, which is one version above this one, but customers did not like it. They liked the one with the blue tabs. So we reverted back to the one that has the blue tabs. We should have this in stock by probably this week or next week, as well as a lot of the items that we currently have out of stock. So right now I have the board hanging off my bench because of that big cap, and we're gonna have to work on it like this. It's doable, it's workable. Tough job, but somebody has to do it. If I had the option, I would rotate the board so I do not grind like this. Grinding like this, you may touch this connector here. I'm not gonna touch it, but still, if I had the option, I would rotate the board. So we're gonna create a trace right here. We're gonna create one right here. And I know you cannot see a thing, but just bear with me. And that's the grinding pen that everyone is waiting for. Why am I grinding this? We already have a pad here. That's what happens when you talk and work. We need to grind this guy right here. When I look back on how I used to do it without the grinding pen, I laugh. It's doable, of course, but it takes more time. Grinding pen is easy. This pad is weak, and this one is weak, and this one is weak, and this one is weak, and now it's time to use pad strips. And I'm currently using pad strips number 4. I mean, you wonder where all that hair came from. The bench. This is like a sticker. It has adhesive on it, so when you lay it on the bench, it's gonna collect all the dust, debris, hair, fibers, elephants, giraffes, everything. You see how that board is moving? You can barely touch it, and it's gonna wobble left and right because of that big cap. Now we need to restore 3 more. Okay, so this one here is making a connection, and this one is moving with the wire. That's good. This one is moving with the wire. This one is moving with the pad. And this one is a wire connecting to the pad, so everything is weak, but that's okay as long as it's making a connection. And all we have to do right now is to secure that connector from the sides. And that's the best that we can do for this one. The customer should be able to connect the LCD cable and everything should be good. So we have a ground here. We have a reading here. We have a reading here. Reading, reading, reading. And look at this. Every single pin is making a good connection. Wow. So one more time. 0.7, 0.71, 0.72, 0.7, 0.72, 0.72, 0.4, 0.51, 0.52. Now we have ground. Awesome. The connector is soldered on perfectly. Every pin is making a connection. And we are done. I'm gonna put the board on the side until tomorrow, and we're gonna check on the glue, make sure it cured, invoice, and mail this back to the customer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.